Hey everyone. So you're probably like us, always trying to get up to speed quickly on the cool new stuff happening, especially where creativity and tech meet.
Yeah, you want the insight without drowning in jargon.
Exactly. So today, that's the plan. We're doing a deep dive into text-to-image AI. Specifically, we're going to focus on Midjourney.
And Midjourney, well, it's this AI tool. You feed it text, gives you back images. Mostly runs on Discord, which is interesting in itself.
It really is. And what's grabbed us, and probably you too, is how it's kind of shaking up who gets to be visually creative.
Totally democratizing it in a way.
Precisely. So our guide for this chat comes from excerpts of a paper called The Algorithmic Muse, Exploring the Capabilities and Trajectory of Text-to-Image AI, a case study of Midjourney.
Sounds fancy, but the core ideas are really accessible.
Yeah, and our mission here is simple. Give you the lowdown on Midjourney now, what it's great at, where it maybe falls short, what's coming next, and maybe a few surprising bits. Ready to jump in?
Let's do it. I think the first thing that really hits you is just the accessibility factor.
Okay, yeah, let's start there, the wow factor.
Yeah.
The research really highlights how Midjourney lets anyone, like even if you can't draw a stick figure.
Yeah, like me, maybe.
Right. It lets you type in an idea and boom, you get actual artwork. That feels significant, does it, for anyone wanting to visualize something?
It absolutely is. It lowers that barrier to entry. Suddenly creating cool visuals isn't just for people with years of training.
It opens it right up.
For you listening, it might mean finally seeing that image that's only been in your head.
And it's not just for hobbyists either. The paper points out its value for pros, designers, artists,
Yeah.
using it for super fast prototyping.
Definitely. Rapid ideation. Imagine just typing a few descriptions and getting like 10 different visual styles back in minutes.
Instead of sketching for hours or mocking things up digitally.
Exactly. Huge time saver in those early stages. You can explore so many more directions, so much faster.
So speed and access are huge. But the research also mentions pushing creative boundaries. How does it do that? Is it just copying styles?
Well, that's the interesting part. It can mimic styles, sure, but it also interprets really abstract prompts, like concepts or feelings.
Oh, okay.
And it can blend styles and ideas in ways a human might not think of. It can lead to these really unexpected, kind of serendipitous results.
So it's not just a technical tool. It can actually be inspiring, generate novelty,
Yeah, I think so. It can spark ideas you wouldn't have landed on otherwise. Opens up new avenues.
which is pretty mind-blowing. Okay, so
Yeah.
you've got this powerful tool. How much control do you actually have over the output?
Yeah.
The paper talks about customization.
Right, and there's like a good news, bad news situation there. The good news is you can get pretty detailed in your prompts.
Like specifying styles, colors, lighting, even camera angles.
Exactly. You can guide it quite a bit with careful wording. You can really influence the overall feel and composition.
Okay, so what's the catch? The not-so-good part.
The catch is that granular control. The pixel level stuff you get in, say, Photoshop, that's not really there.
Ah, right.
The AI makes its own artistic choices interpreting your prompt. So sometimes it adds things or interprets a word in a way you didn't intend. Fine-tuning specific little details is tough.
So you can't just, like, grab an element and move it slightly?
Nope. Not easily. It's more about guiding the overall generation than maybe iterating, changing the prompt, trying again.
Okay, that makes sense. Like directing an artist versus being the artist herself, which leads perfectly into prompting. The paper stresses how crucial prompt engineering is.
It really is the core skill, isn't it? Since you don't have that direct manipulation, the prompt is your main interface, your way of controlling the AI.
So the quality of what you get out depends heavily on the quality of what you put in.
Absolutely. Garbage in, garbage out. Or maybe just weird stuff out. Clear, specific prompts generally yield better, more relevant results.
It's not just throwing keywords at it then.
Not if you want something specific. It takes practice to learn how Midjourney thinks or interprets language. Ambiguity is often your enemy.
It's like learning a new language almost, the AI's language.
Kind of, yeah. Learning its nuances.
Now, something else the paper highlights is the community aspect, especially on Discord. That sounds like a big plus.
It really is. There's this incredibly active, very supportive community. People share prompts constantly. They share techniques, results.
So you can learn by seeing what others are doing.
Definitely. It's hugely valuable, especially when you're starting out. You see what's possible, you get inspired, you learn tricks. It's very collaborative.
That counteracts the potential scariness of the tech a bit, maybe. Knowing there's help and shared learning.
I think so. And while Discord itself might be a hurdle for some initially,
Yeah, it can be a bit chaotic.
it can. But the basic act of typing imagine and then your prompt, that part is pretty intuitive. You can get started making images fairly quickly.
Okay, so powerful tool, needs skilled prompting, has a strong community,
Yeah.
but it's not all sunshine and perfect images, right? The paper mentions a shadow side, ethics, bias.
Right. And this is super important. Like any AI trained on vast data sets scraped from the internet, Midjourney can inherit and sometimes amplify biases present in that data.
So generating stereotypes or skewed representations?
It's a definite risk, something the developers are aware of and work on, but it's inherent in the data to some extent. And then there are the huge ethical questions around copyright.
Yeah, the trading data. Was it all licensed? Who owns the output image?
Exactly. These are complex legal and ethical areas that are still being figured out. It's a major ongoing discussion in the art and legal worlds.
And practically speaking, there are other limitations too.
Sure, generating lots of high-res images takes significant computing power, which translates into subscription costs. It's not entirely free, especially for heavy use, and there's still a degree of unpredictability. Sometimes, even with a great prompt, the output is just off or inconsistent if you try to run the same prompt again. Repeatability can be tricky.
So managing expectations is key as well. It's powerful, but not magic.
Precisely. It's a tool, and like any tool, it has strengths and weaknesses.
All right, let's shift gears and look ahead. The paper speculates quite a bit about the future trajectory. What's on the horizon?
Well, the most obvious prediction is just continued improvement in realism and detail. The pace of development has been incredibly fast already.
So images getting even harder to distinguish from photos or traditional art.
Potentially, yeah. Blurring those lines even further. But also integration with other AI tools.
Like what?
Think text-to-video, or generating 3D models directly from text prompts, or AI-assisted animation. Combining these modalities could unlock totally new creative workflows.
Wow. Okay, so moving way beyond static images.
Exactly. And also, maybe more personalized AI.
How so?
Imagine an AI that learns your specific style preferences over time, or understands the context of the project you're working on, making it more like a tailored assistant.
That sounds powerful. And maybe even real-time generation.
That's another exciting possibility. Being able to tweak your prompt and see the image change instantly, interactively, like sculpting with words in real time.
That would be a completely different creative experience. And will this tech stay mainly in art and design?
Unlikely, I think. The paper suggests wider adoption, marketing for sure, for quick ad visuals, education, maybe visualizing concepts, scientific visualization.
So it could pop up in lots of different fields.
The potential applications are pretty broad once the tech matures and becomes more accessible or integrated into other software.
And alongside all that tech development, we'll likely see more focus on the ethics, right? Frameworks, regulations.
Almost certainly. As the tech becomes more capable and widespread, the need to address copyright bias, misuse, that's only going to grow. Society will need to catch up.
Okay, fascinating stuff on the horizon. Before we wrap up, the paper included some intriguing tidbits or fun facts about Midjourney. Any standouts?
Well, just remembering it only launched in early 2022 is kind of wild. Given how popular it became so quickly, people really latched on to its particular artistic aesthetic early on.
Yeah, it had a very distinct look initially, didn't it?
It did, and the constant updates are notable too. The models evolve rapidly, leading to really noticeable jumps in quality, V5, V6, big leaps.
And the sheer scale, millions and millions of images generated just on their Discord. It's a massive collective art project, in a way.
It really is. And seeing professional artists now starting to integrate it into their actual workflows, not just playing around, but using it as a real tool, like a creative assistant. That feels like a shift.
Yeah, validation almost.
And sometimes, the AI interprets abstract concepts like loneliness or joy in ways that are surprisingly profound, evocative.
It captures a feeling you didn't explicitly describe.
Yeah, it adds this layer of unexpected interpretation sometimes, which is helped, I guess, by the fact that its inner workings, the exact algorithms and data, are proprietary. Adds a bit of mystery.
A little black box magic going on.
Something like that.
Okay, so let's try and distill this. If someone listening has been following along, what are the main things they should take away about Midjourney from this deep dive?
I'd say, number one, it's a huge force for democratizing visual creation, makes it accessible. Number two, it's incredibly fast and great for exploring ideas, even pushing creative limits.
But number three, mastering the art of prompting is absolutely key to getting good results.
Definitely. And 4, don't underestimate the power of the community for learning and inspiration. And finally, 5, be aware of the limitations and the ongoing ethical discussions. It's not perfect, and there are tricky issues.
So, incredible potential, especially for speed and accessibility, but it comes with challenges and requires skill to use well.
Exactly. It's a rapidly evolving space, offering amazing possibilities, but also raising important questions.
Which brings us to a final thought to leave everyone with. With tools like Midjourney becoming more powerful and accessible, how might this reshape our whole idea of what creativity is?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah, and who gets to be called an artist? What does authorship even mean when you're collaborating so directly with an AI?
Does it change the value we place on human skill versus AI generation?
Right. It's something to think about, isn't it? How might you listening engage with this, even if you don't think of yourself as an artist right now? How might it impact your world?
Definitely food for thought. It's going to be fascinating to watch how it all unfolds.